All right, Tyler Perry fans, in this video, I'm going to be doing the official trailer breakdown for Tyler Perry's new show, The Oval, which will be coming to BET October 23rd at 9 p.m. If you are new to this channel, just be aware that for the sake of avoiding copyright or getting this video taken down, I will have to divide the trailer into little chunks where I'll do about 20 seconds, have a little pause in there, then I'll play the next section, maybe 20 some seconds, and then I'll finish it up with the final part of the trailer. This is to avoid copyright. If you don't know, I'm a full-time YouTuber. I do episode reviews, trailer breakdowns, theories about different TV shows. I do not post full episodes. I mean, let's put it this way. If I'm afraid of a 1-minute trailer leading to a video getting taken down for copyright, what makes you think I'm going to be posting full videos of any show? Just to let you know that. But without further ado, what we're going to do, like I said before, play the first chunk of the trailer, take a pause, and the next chunk, then we'll discuss it. After we show the trailer, I will break the trailer down, talk about the different characters in the actual show, as well as all the episode titles we know of on IMDb and other resources. And then to wrap things up, just kind of give my overall thoughts on my first impressions of The Oval, and we'll go from there.
I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. So help me God. Who do you think you are?
You will not ruin this for me.
You're the president. What the hell is this world coming to?
You two are the perfect couple. Yes, we are. Aren't we, darling?
Tyler Perry's The Oval.
You're all the same. Young, stupid, and foolish.
President gets a +1.
New series premieres Wednesday, October 23rd at 9.
All right, and that was the trailer for The Oval. And if you could do me a favor, if you are new to the channel, I'd really appreciate if you took just a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. We just hit over 91,000 subscribers, so we need less than 9,000 in order to reach the 100,000 goal that I've been working on for the last couple years here. And on top of that, if you haven't also checked me out on social media, I have various Facebook groups, a Facebook page, as well as Twitter and Instagram accounts promoting Tyler Perry media. I talk about the haves and the have-nots, if loving you is wrong, and of course I will be making a page for The Oval and Sisters. I'll probably just do one page, well, I don't know, I might have to make separate ones. Some people are very fickle about that. And also, if you want to donate to the channel, you could do so via PayPal. And I also have an eBay store where I sell trading cards and action figures, free shipping on everything. All right, folks, so that was the trailer for Tyler Perry's new show, The Oval. I gotta say, the thing about these Tyler Perry trailers is like, he starts things off, you know, kind of, well, predictable. It's like, okay, it's a show about the White House. We have some narrating dialogue, which is, I believe, quotes from the traditional presidential oath. And, you know, we have the president and first lady, I guess you could say, walking through the crowd. I want to say this is the inauguration Oh Lord, the inauguration ball, I believe, and we just see basic things like the limo pulling up, the White House staff lined up. Either that's the White House or just a fancy hotel. Either way, it looks like a lot of stuff is going to go down. And then within 20 seconds, things get real when we see a woman on the sidewalk. Looks like she's falling to her knees crying. It could be that she found out some bad news. Heck, it could be that there's someone she knows laying out dead on the sidewalk. Then we have a scene where it looks like a car's ramming through the wall of a store. And let me just say this much. I don't believe that we saw the son. Just to kind of go over the characters real quick, the president is Hunter Franklin. He's the newly elected president of the United States. Wife, Victoria Franklin, she's the first lady of course, the newly elected president. We have Gail Franklin. I know her best as Tasha from Everybody Hates Chris. Gail is the beautiful and spoiled daughter of the president and first lady. She is a wild child who is rebellious and defiant. Jason Franklin is the son of the president and first lady. He is a troubled young man. And going through this trailer, getting my screenshots and taking notes, I could be wrong, but I don't believe we saw the son at all. I mean, the main point of this trailer itself is the fact that we see a lot of friction between the president and first lady. I have been reading comments because I actually posted the trailer on my social media, the Facebook group, Facebook page, as well as Instagram. And I remember reading some of the comments, and some people are automatically turned off by the show because of the fact that you have a man hitting his wife. And I'm not saying I agree with domestic violence, but I'm just saying that if you go back to when David pimp slapped Veronica on the haves and the have-nots, that there was a lot of divisiveness between the fan base, but some people are like, it's about time versus how dare he put his hands on a woman like that. But to be somewhat, just to play Tyler Perry advocate, if you will, in this trailer, when you see these two fighting, you see, I believe, like the president throwing Hunter throwing Victoria on the bed. But also you see a scene where it looks like she's hitting him upside the head with a glass. Not to mention, I think at one point she takes a chair and cracks it over his head as well. And it's ironic because these scenes are going on, I believe, while this butler is saying, you two are the perfect couple. Then you have fight, the flashbacks to the fights. It's like, yes, we are, aren't we, darling? And going back to Gail, she's, I believe, talking to her mother, you're a joke. And then her mom's like, see if I don't put your head through the wall. And we can definitely see that she's the wild child. It looks like there are a few scenes in the trailer where she's having a good time with young man who I'm pretty sure is someone who her parents wouldn't approve of. I mean, that's typical in shows like this, right? And then we have a scene. I cannot find the name of this particular character, but she says, you're the president. And then I do believe we see a scene of this young lady and the president making out in the Oval Office. And I feel like this is carried on to the beginning of the trailer, where we see the president and first lady walking through a crowd. And then we go to the end of the trailer where we see these two walking through a crowd. But this same young lady is looking at the president some kind of way. And the first lady looks over to her. And I love how the dialogue over top of this was, you're all the same, young, stupid, foolish. So I do believe that the first lady is talking to the tramp that is having an affair with her husband, which is ironic because the president says president gets a +1. In what regard, Hunter? In what regard? So after that, let's see here. Yeah, I think the only other dialogue, I believe, is at the beginning of the trailer. We had the president and first lady. I want to say this is before I want to say this is either before they talk with the butler about you two are the perfect couple, or this is after. But in any case, the president saying, who do you think you are? And then the first lady is like, you will not ruin this for me. And I think some of the biggest highlights of the trailer in terms of action would be the car being set on fire and exploding. really harkens back to, either Waiting to Exhale or Veronica setting fire to a bunch of cars on the haves and the have-nots, and then Candace doing the same thing to that van that had Malik in the back. Let's see. Oh, also at the end of the we see the first lady with like a sledgehammer. She's just dragging it through I'm assuming the hallways of the White House. So I have no idea what kind of friction's going on, but it looks like a lot of stuff's going down. And kind of comparing this trailer to the one for Sisters, there's not a lot of dialogue, but the dialogue that's there is enough to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. Now, pretty much, that was like the trailer breakdown in itself, just going over the various scenes, most of which had to do with the First Lady and the President, who are obviously like the core characters of this show, along with their children. And I'm just looking at a couple of articles as well as Wikipedia. There is a list of characters, so I'm not going to go through them all, but I'll just give you an idea of the different kind of people who will be on this show. Aside from the President, First Lady, and their two children, we have Richard, who is the White House butler. We have Nancy, who's a loving wife to Richard. Actually, let me Google something real quick, because perhaps this is the woman who's making out with the president. Let me just check real quick. I know, I'm sorry about this. I should have done this beforehand. Nope, that's not the case. Let's see. Barry's the son of the butler. Nancy and Richard. Wait a minute. Sharon is the girlfriend of Barry. Donald is the chief of staff. Donald Winthrop. Interesting. Lily Winthrop is the fashion designer, married to Donald. Priscilla Owens. Wait, what if she's the one? Wow, I apologize. I know I usually am more formal than this, but I didn't plan on doing this video on going into detail on these characters so much, because if I could find, nope, that's not her either. Good grief. Sam is the Secret Service agent. Kyle is the Secret Service agent. Bobby is handsome and rugged. After meeting Lily on a plane, neither of the lives will ever be the same again. Okay. Yeah, I don't believe that they actually identify this character. Oh well, but in any case, basically the main staff of the White House, such as the butler and his family, the chief of staff, as well as the Secret Service agent. So I guess that's the best way to put it. Now, on top of that, remember that there is a linked series to this show called Ruthless. That show will cover the various characters of the Oval when they're not on screen. So I want to assume okay, this Secret Service agent is going home for the day. He's clocking out. So if we shift over to Ruthless, we'll see what that agent is up to after he walks out of the White House. Makes sense to me. And we don't have a specific date on when that show will be coming out. So it will be a BET Plus exclusive series as opposed to something that's going to be on BET, which I think is a smart move to really inspire people to, actually get BET Plus, because we'll have that show on there as well. Now, just to kind of give you a synopsis of the series, and I think the trailer really speaks for itself, The Oval tells the story of a family placed in the White House by people of power, while also highlighting the personal side and everyday lives of the staff who run the inner workings of the nation's most iconic residence. I should have read that first, because that actually explains why pretty much a majority of the cast is made up of people who work within a White House. And going to IMDb, there are allegedly 25 episodes for season 1, and the only episode title we have is episode 16, called The Dangerous Game. But then for episode 1, we just simply have the pilot, and the synopsis, well, this is the only synopsis we have. The first family prepares for the inaugurational ball. Tragic events threaten the family and the White House staff. That's about it. So let's see here. Like I said at the beginning, I did the trailer breakdown. I showed you the trailer. I talked about the various characters, some of the key scenes, the dialogue from the trailer, and I guess, what are my impressions of the trailer? Pretty damn good, to be honest. I mean, when I was actually taking notes for Sisters, I'm like, pretty straightforward. But when it came to the Oval, I had to freeze frame a lot, because there was a lot going on. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it kind of started off a little slow, but that's for the sake of building up, okay, this is an interesting show, nothing too what the heck is going on here? So I do think that this should be an interesting series. I know a lot of people are going to be scratching their head because I feel like some people will be comparing this show to Too Close to Home. There are have not fans who have asked me to talk about, do you think that Tyler Perry's The Oval could be leading, I guess you could say, a pioneer series for an eventual Candace and Charles in the White House series. And the list goes on. Too Close to Home season 3. There are so many things to look into, but I want to be completely honest here. I think that The Oval is going to be its own show. I don't think it's going to be a flagship for an eventual Candace and Charles in the White House. I don't think it's going to lead to Too Close to Home season 3. I think that with this being the first official series, not counting Sisters, the first official series for Tyler Perry's Viacom deal, I feel like The Oval is going to be for Tyler Perry and BET what the haves and the have-nots was for Tyler Perry and the OWN network. That's my thoughts on that. I feel like The Oval is Tyler Perry's way of growing as a creator, because when you really think about it, for example, The Pains, I don't want to get into a rant on that because you all know how I feel about The Pains, but the reasoning behind the show coming back, or at least the way it was promoted, was the fact that fans have been wanting the show to come back for years. And that is actually true. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. But on the flip side of that coin, once the show was on the air and we saw how lackluster it was, it seemed pretty obvious that The Pains was only created simply for Tyler Perry to fulfill his contractual obligations with the OWN network, which I do believe was to create X amount of episodes for a series, and Tyler Perry did that, but the show was, for lack of a better phrase, a flop. I have people on this channel that said they like The Pains, but I don't think I have a lot of people on this channel that said they like The Pains. So yeah, but I do feel like, Tyler Perry, I am definitely giving this show a chance. I think that sex, greed, murder, money, that's pretty much like the different taglines that pop up during the trailer. Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot, see what I think. Same thing with Sisters. I think that this show, just by the trailer alone, I do like the camera angles and the lighting. Those kind of things really attract me to a show because it feels like I'm watching something, cinematic as opposed to just a standard television show. But aside from that, that's all I really have to say. This trailer might, once I finish cutting it and editing, might be around 15, maybe 18 minutes. Yeah, that's right, because I'm spreading out the video. All right, the actual trailer itself. But with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of The Oval? How do you feel about, domestic violence? But don't you feel like it's kind of, both sides are getting in some good hits, and in the trailer alone, it looked like the First Lady was getting in more shots than the first, the president, because, she's using random objects like glass and chairs. Again, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying, before you jump on the Tyler Perry promoting domestic violence, let's see how it plays out. Like, once again, I'm not condoning domestic violence, but sometimes it's best to get the full picture. Who's the one that, strikes the first blow? Do they do these kind of things for sex? There are couples out there that are into that kind of thing. So, honestly, when I first watched the trailer, I got Ambitions feels from it. If you don't watch Ambitions on the OWN network, that's the one from Will Packer. It has Robin Givens in it, Brian White, and just Brian and Robin Givens characters of Stephanie and Evan Lancaster. Wait, is it Lancaster or Carl? Oh yeah, Lancaster. That their actual first episode reminded me of this a lot. You have like the governor and Mayor Lancaster and his first lady seem to be the picture perfect couple in the public eye, but behind closed doors, it's anything but that. So I do think that some of the key points of this trailer where the first lady, being aware of the affair that her husband's having, the car explosion, because who doesn't love that? I do believe there was a police car racing down the street at one point, and just the fight between the first lady and the president. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting, not to mention an interracial couple within the White House. So with that being said, make sure you take a moment to hit that subscribe button if you're new. I'd really appreciate it. And on top of that, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really does help the algorithm. And on top of that, social media links are in the description below. So make sure you hit the bell notification icon as well, because I will be doing videos over the next few. Oh, it is already October the 1st. So if we go to tomorrow, which is Wednesday, October the 2nd, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 more weeks until the Oval comes out. Let me know if you're ready. Are you hoping this show leads to a revival of Too Close to Home, or are you going to have the Oval be its own show? That's how I'm going to look at it. Will I be comparing it to other Tyler Perry shows once I do episode 1 review? Of course, because it's not uncommon for Tyler Perry to take elements of some of his other projects and put them into one. So if he can actually make this series truly its own, then I think I'll be very impressed with it.